Hey everybody, welcome back to the 6th round post-fight show with me, Zane Simon, and my co-host, as always, Eddie Mercado. It's been about a month, I think, I feel like, since we've done one of these. Just
It does feel like that.
schedules flying by, UFC cards looking crappy,
I had Brawler's Ball, I had a
Yeah,
conversation with Frank Mir, which is always fun.
you had stuff to do, I had stuff to do, but the UFC brought us back for UFC 327, which looked like an actual fun card on paper and was an actual fun card in reality. Sometimes it's the ones that you do get excited for that are the good cards,
I think there might have been only one real dud.
Oh yeah, the Dominic Reyes Johnny Walker fight. That was the only that was the only shit fight.
Major disappointment.
But I've said this before. It's a familiar refrain at this point. Your really great cards give you every flavor, including like you got to have that lump of coal in the middle of a really great card. You got to have that little pile of shit.
You don't have to, but
No,
it's
you
just
do, because think about how much more you came out of that fight being like, oh fuck, and then you got right into Hocket Blades, and think about how much more awesome that fight suddenly just like becomes. You got to get that little cool down. If it was all at 11 all the time, it would wear you out.
not me. Maybe filthy casuals.
Well, yeah. So I'm happy. Even the bad fight, this was a good card all the way through. Delivered everything. We got some we got some judging weirdness. We got a freaky injury. We got some knockouts.
Lowest FIQ moment of ever.
Ever. Yeah.
Ever. At the highest level. Like,
yeah. You know what? I gotta say it right now.
Hold on. Does your shirt say Houston?
Yeah.
Oh, look
It's
at
a
you.
rollerball shirt. That was the James Caan's team. He was playing. I don't even think the team had a name. They were just Houston. But like, I know that Joe doesn't care about his job anymore or take any time to think about anything he does anymore. But I remember like 10 years ago when he was like, I'm never going to interview a guy who just I don't want to interview guys that just got knocked out anymore. That Yuri Prochazka interview should not have happened. Like, that guy just got flatlined, and you're out there feeding him this line about how he's too noble to like try to win. It's like, that's not what that's not what anybody watching saw. That's the narrative you built in your head, and Yuri's happy to just spout that out. And like, the champ's
well,
right
he definitely showed mercy. Like, he got dumb and like was like, oh, he's a one-wheeled fighter. Bushido, I want to be noble. I want to be,
He charged at him face first, trying to kill him when he got knocked out. That wasn't
right, but he didn't want to win from an injury. He wanted to win because he knocked him out, not because his knee blew out.
I don't know. It's just, all it does is it's, to me, you've got the guy who just had this incredible comeback right there, and you're turning around to the guy he beat and letting him be like, oh yeah, no, I was too nice to beat him. And it's like, that's not what's going on, man. You were too stupid. But
yeah, well, I don't think Yuri was in any kind of frame of mind to articulate.
And that's what I'm saying. You don't do
right,
that fucking interview.
Right.
That's why I lead with the Joe Rogan's an asshole for doing that interview. Because it's just like, you don't let Olberg have his moment. He's earned it. It is an incredible moment, and all you're doing, mixing in this narrative about Yuri's Bushido code, is just diluting it. You're making your own product worse with something like that. So
Either way, it's the lowest FIQ moment I've ever witnessed.
it is.
Ever.
It absolutely, it is one of those, Anthony Smith not taking the DQ against John Jones.
But way
It's
worse, in
yeah,
my opinion.
it's Chael Sonnen and the toe, wasn't it? With it's just it's what yeah, it's right. It's Piotr Jan looking at Aljamain Sterling in the illegal position and still throwing the knee at him as hard as he can, right in his head.
And I
It's
think of
that point.
Andre Sukumtot when he fought Sean O'Malley when Sean O'Malley was on the rise, and
Yeah.
he literally had O'Malley hobbling on one foot and like goes for a takedown.
The thing I will say, I think in Sukumtav's defense, I don't think he ever knew O'Malley was injured. I don't think he was just too
No, he
focused.
did. I interviewed him after
Oh, he
that. He
did? Yeah.
absolutely did. Yeah. He
Okay.
thought he was doing what was best in the moment.
Well, I'm sorry, Andre. I tried to defend you. I always thought you must not have understood what situation you were in.
Nope, he knew.
But that is just, and to right before it all too, when Yuri's like, somebody noted here, like Yuri pointing at the ground to like have this brawl and all that, and he points at the ground, gets popped with a 1-2, and he takes 30 steps backward. I'm sorry. I'm the biggest Yuri defender of all time, but every part of that sequence that led to him getting finished was just stupid.
Well, yeah. It's
All of
beyond
it.
stupid.
It's just like every fighter needs to stop doing the Max Holloway thing. We need to get the Men in Black out here with the little flashy thing and just erase that from all these fighters' memories. They never saw Max Holloway point at the ground. And if a guy blows his leg out against you in a fight, just wait until the round is over, man. It's not getting up off the stool.
He's not even able to sit on the stool, more than likely.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, this is tough. It's on brand.
I know it is. It is. I have been Yuri's biggest fan since he was like on the Czech regionals before he even got to Risen. I was like, this dude's gonna be a future great, and I'm here all the time. But it's he does not. He clearly is like living entirely in his own head, and no other message gets through at all. Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
nothing he does is the result of some outside coach or influence or mentor. The only other influence it could possibly be is some like 15th century samurai training manual. That's the only thing that's getting through.
But it's also what got him this far.
Yeah, no, I'm not like the dude's an insane talent. I'm not saying he's not an insane talent. I'm just saying that you're right. It's totally on brand, and for everything that he is going to magically get right because he's an insane athlete with a purity of purpose, he's also just going to miss entirely and do something incredibly stupid.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't go like full samurai and like, I've disgraced my family. Like,
Yeah, well, yeah. He definitely had that look in his eyes after Rogan's interviewing him there, and you see Yuri suddenly like staring off into the empty distance, not moving. It's
yeah.
like he is either thinking about trying to kill Olberg to get his honor back, or the note he's gonna leave his wife and children.
Oh man.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's like I want to feel bad for him, but I don't. Like
No,
this
no,
is what you
no.
get. You pissed off the MMA gods.
He was
You don't do
given this.
that.
This was a gift that was given by UFC fuckery, whereby Alex Pereira vacated his light heavyweight title to take some dumb fights at heavyweight. There's no way Yuri would have been fighting for the light heavyweight title if that hadn't happened. This was his gift opportunity to regain the belt, and I'm not going to feel bad for him that he flushed that down the toilet because he, I don't know, got his wires crossed, didn't know whether he was coming or going.
But shout out to Olberg for having a blown knee and still being
No,
able to
yeah.
generate that much power.
That's the thing, is that is the real story here, is that Olberg's knee was as fucked gets, and he won that fight. And it's not even a question. It's not even a like, oh, well, he hurt Yuri, but Yuri was still alive and kicking. It's no. He dropped him and followed up with enough shots that Yuri was done.
Put him out, yeah.
Put him out. That is beautiful. That is to be treasured. And we can all think about what an amazing achievement that is over the next 18 months while he has to sit on the sidelines recovering from knee surgery, and the UFC has to create an interim title between...
I can already see it now. Yuri versus Paulo Costa for the interim light heavyweight belt.
Yes, there you go.
Or they'll do the Roundtree rematch.
Yeah. Yuri or... Yeah, that's... or you know, they're... I mean... That's the thing too. I'm looking. I'm like, oh, but they have options. And I looked, and
they don't.
Ankalaev coming off a loss to Alex Pereira, Yuri Prochazka coming off a loss to Carlos Olberg, Khalil Roundtree coming off a loss to Yuri Prochazka, Jan Blachowicz coming off of a draw, Azamat Murzakanov.
Well, he's in a rematch with
Bogdan Gushkov.
Yeah,
Azamat Murzakanov coming off a loss to Paulo Costa. Jamal Hill coming off a loss to Khalil Roundtree. Literally every fighter. Oh, and Bogdan Gushkov coming off a draw. Literally every fighter, top champ, or 2 through 8, is coming off a loss or a draw right now.
Come Monday, Costa will be ranked at 205.
Yeah. Come Monday, we will have Paulo Costa in those rankings, and he can mix into that somehow, but if they end up with Paulo Costa as a title shot and just to like try and make something happen, it's going to feel really dumb.
Not for me. That's what I want to see. I want him to get the next title shot.
I will say I am Paulo Costa putting together back-to-back good performances at both middleweight and light heavyweight. Not something I thought I would say of him at this point.
He looks so great tonight.
He really did.
Probably the best I've ever seen him.
Yeah, honestly. Like, this is up there with, getting up there with the Yoel Romero fight he had. I mean, that's really, like, that was his apex moment, was that Yoel Romero fight back in 2019. But that was 2019. That was 7 years ago. And there's been a lot of Paulo Costa trash in the meantime.
Not only am I gay for Paulo Costa, so is Donald Trump. Donald Trump was like hitting on him.
Yeah. You're a very beautiful man. You're like, Hey,
and
look.
Trump said he's going to get him to the White House too, so he might convert, if you know what I mean.
No. But we have some hair plug jokes to apologize for. No, we don't. I saw the top of Paulo Costa's head. They're still not taking.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but
that man is he is out there fighting for his life with doll's hair. I'm sorry, but like, there's still a handful coming out in the comb every day.
Man, and I promise you, once I saw that spot, I was like envisioning a bald Costa, and I was like, man, he's got to keep the hair.
It doesn't hit the same. He knows that. I think he tried to like buzz it short for a little while, and he knew that it just doesn't hit the same. So yeah. But no, somebody asking here too. In your estimation, is Costa the fighter with the most wasted potential in UFC history? Not at all.
Dude, Lee Murray. Come on now. Don't even get me started on Lightning Lee Murray.
Yeah.
I will talk for 2 hours about Lee Murray, okay?
Also, literally, oops, I just jumped in there. But literally, Kelvin Gastelum was on this card. Oh, like, you want to talk about like the most wasted potential in UFC history? Like, Kelvin Gastelum, he never even got to fight for a title, you know?
Wasn't the Izzy fight an interim title? Or that wasn't even a title fight, was it?
No, I think that was just a title eliminator. Like, that is as wasted potential gets, you know?
I
Lee
still think
Murray,
Lee Murray number one.
Lee Murray went to prison. I mean, it's not like he didn't, he was out there fighting
He
and
didn't
it's
just
like,
happen to go to prison. He made decisions that
I know.
landed him in prison.
Yeah. But like, I'm just saying, like, he didn't go out. It wasn't like, oh, Lee Murray didn't put his skills together in the cage the way he should have. It's no, he went out there and committed one of the largest,
Bank heist.
bank heists in history. And
he would have been a champion though.
He definitely, especially in that era, he had the skills. But no, yeah, it's Kelvin Gastelum. If you're talking like modern era wasted potential, Kelvin is, well, him getting subbed by Vicente Luque, a small welterweight, on the early prelims.
Someone's saying that Kelvin Izzy was for the interim.
Oh, okay. Well, he still didn't win an interim belt, but interim belts are fake, so I don't really care.
Oh, come on now. Stop it.
I'm sorry, but if it were a real belt, it wouldn't have interim in front of it. But yeah, no, Gastelum he's way up there. Sage Northcutt, yeah, Sage, he's up there too. Sage Northcutt was a real big potential bust.
I feel like that's more of a hype train derail than actual true potential.
Yeah, I mean, it's also one of those things where it was just very clear once Sage Northcutt started fighting anybody halfway decent that he was much more of a guy who would like to have the fighter aura than guy who wants to be a pro fighter all the time. Like, but yeah. All right.
How did we get on this topic?
I don't know. Somebody saying that Paulo Costa is like the biggest wasted potential of all time. And it's just like, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. No, dude,
he can go. He could beat Olberg. He could be a champion.
Yeah.
It's not his story's not done.
No.
Especially if he goes to the White House and mingles with Trump and allegedly gets on the adrenochrome or whatever the fuck they be doing.
Yeah. Oh man. But we got to talk though about this Murzakanov fight because, man.
Oh wait, let's rank the main event.
Oh yeah, main event. I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a 5. I was gonna try and like shade it somehow because Yuri got injured and got real stupid about it, but Olberg blowing his knee out and still getting a knockout win is.
It's epic. It was so clownish. Like, yeah. It's MMA. It's very. Like I just loved it. It was so cartoonish the way he got knocked out too. It's fantastic.
No, it was amazing. So that's got to be a 5. Costa Murzakanov though, Costa comes out looking sharp, looking fast, catching Murzakanov with everything, looking slick,
looking smart, body kicks, inside leg kicks, head kicks.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom.
Keeping the hands at home for Murzakanov, making those big spots where he's going to fire one huge shot harder to come by. Really fighting smart. And then the pressure started to get to him. End of the round, Murzakanov started really getting him on the cage, letting his hands go a little more. Round 2 comes along, and it's very much like, oh, okay, Paulo Costa was out here for a good hard round. He gave it his best shot, but he can't get off his back foot. Murzakanov is breaking him.
At least gassing
And
him out, right?
yeah, gassing him out, starting to hurt him. There was a moment in round 2 where Murzakonov's hurting Paulo Costa, landing good shots. Costa grabs him in a body lock. And it was one of those like real clarifying things of like, okay, Murzakonov's 5'10". Why the hell does this guy fight at 205? And you see Paulo Costa has Murzakanov in a body lock, and the camera was gratefully focused right on Murzakanov in his face. Murzakanov just kind of sighs, looks around, braces his feet for a second. He just grabs Paulo Costa and whips him onto the mat. And you're like, okay, this dude is freakishly fucking strong.
And to that was the scarf hold.
Well, that was the scarf hold came after. That was part of scarf hold came
Yeah.
shortly after that. This was the first one where he whipped him down, and then Paulo Costa got up and he whipped him down again into the scarf hold. It's just like, this dude is hellaciously strong for a 5'10" man.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. And everything looked like it was flowing his way. But for maybe the first time in Paulo Costa's whole career, he stopped being a front runner and he went back to his corner and collected himself and came out in the next round twice as urgent to try and win, just blasting in head kicks.
Side note, in between that second and third round, they cut to they're like in Paulo's corner for like 4 seconds and then go to commercial. And I was pissed. I was so mad.
Right?
Like, what is this? That's like getting your dick sucked for like 5 seconds. And you're like, what happened? What's going on here? It's the same thing. I need the corner view. I need it.
Yeah. That, especially in those kind of moments, for those kinds of fights. That's we need to hear what is going on there, because he came out, like I say, he came out in that third round
possessed.
Possessed. Like, I have never thought of or seen Paulo Costa be a comeback fighter.
He looks so confident too. You could see it on his face. Like, he had that angry like scowl on his face, and he just starts fucking launching the kicks. And like Murzakanov was just like, what the fuck is this? Getting just belted. And those body kicks, that's where they really, really paid off, is in that third round.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to block the body, but keep his hand up. And it's just, you kind of have to pick one. You can't do both at the same time.
Yep.
Man, I'm so happy for Costa. This is what it should have been the whole time. Third round here is how he should always fight.
Yeah, no, I mean, the potential's always been there. It's always been clear that he can be an elite fighter who competes at an elite level in every bout. And, to the point of the guy who's saying, oh, he's Costa a big waste of potential, for the last 5 years, it has felt like that guy rarely shows up. And it has largely felt like Costa's just a guy who doesn't really like to fight that much. He fights like once every year and a half when it's sort of like, oh, okay, I really need to do this now, I guess. But otherwise, he's just much more like interested in being on Instagram and, living the life. And I think the fight he had with Kopylov before this, and then this fight, he's actually looked motivated in both of them. And I don't know what happened or what's changed or what's going on, but it's working.
I like him at 205 also.
He's not built like a 205er, but if
he's built.
I'm not saying he's small or anything, but like 6'1", it's not like he's short armed. He's not going to be a Hulk in that division the way he can be at middleweight. But if it makes him confident enough to fight like this, then do it.
I think
You
it
know?
might be the gas tank. Like if he's got the confidence that he's not going to get tired and actually has spring in his step for the third round, keep him at 205.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I say, the biggest thing to me is always just like you hear about all the weight classes and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like so much of that is honestly a confidence thing. Like, yeah, there are some fighters that are literally too small for a division or too big for a division, but you see fighters all up and down of all different sizes, and it's really just what weight makes you feel good to fight at. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, look at what Poirier did when he moved up.
yeah,
Look what Oliveira did when he moved up.
yeah. No, I
It's
mean, it's you. Yeah, you can. It doesn't. If he's confident at 205, he should do it. It's also too
confidence
like
is so big for him. He honestly, the fight with Adesanya, he lost that fight at the face-off when
yeah.
he was showing the black belt and Izzy took it from him and fucking threw it right back at him. I felt like his confidence was
Oh yeah.
gone right then and
Oh yeah.
there. So he's definitely a head case for sure.
No question. Yeah, this was a great performance. Did he have a call out after this? I forgot now.
No, he was actually just super humble and
Okay.
saying he'll go to back to 185 or
Oh, that's
205
right. Yeah, yeah.
wherever. But title shot, come on. There's nobody else that should be fighting for the fucking title.
Yeah, I mean
Costa.
now that the champ's sidelined and you can make the case for an interim belt, yeah, you might as well be calling out Magomed Ankalaev or
No,
Khalil
sir. Stop
Roundtree
it.
or
Stop it. Stop. It's two people. That's it. It's Yuri or Roundtree. That's it.
all right.
That's it.
Well, Ankalaev he's gonna be in that conversation and you're gonna have to hate it. You're gonna have to.
No one wants to see that.
I know. All right, so we'll maybe in a dream world we'll get Costa Roundtree for an interim title here,
Oh,
or if not even an interim title, just a fight. Just make that fight. Make Costa Roundtree. I want to see that
sure.
right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Fair.
because Roundtree's the same size as him, too. You know, so that is literally just like if you're going to be up here, I want to see you in that striking battle.
And I want to see him fight Yuri.
Yeah. All right. And for Murzakanov, I mean, he's going to have to heal for a while. So there's not really any real use in trying to think of a fight to book for him. When he comes back at some point, hey, Jamal Hill's out for knee surgeries right now. They can come back and fight each other.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see how he's going to respond to this being his first loss and getting his ass beat.
Yeah.
Like you pressured the whole fight and got your ass beat.
Yep. He got his fight. Things were going his way. And because too, like when he went down at the end, it was not Carlos Olberg with the blown out leg just trying to find a way to fight to the end. He just dropped down and was like, okay, I'm done.
Not a good sign.
Yeah.
Definitely not a good sign.
All right. What's your rating for this one?
I got to go 6. Besides being gay for Costa, I absolutely just loved his game plan here with the inside leg kick, body kick, head kick combos. Like the way he just stayed so true to that and the way he came out in that third round so pissed off. Like I loved everything about this fight.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm gonna throw a 5 at it at least. It was a fantastic fight. Really
You're such a hater.
I'm not a hater. I am a slave to a system, Eddie. That is.
Oh yeah, I don't follow rules.
No. All right, that brings us to a heavyweight fight.
Speaking of not following the rules, this fight had no
Hocket.
business being this epic.
No. This I had marked out. Like, I had Reyes Walker marked out as the stupid bad fight on this card. And then I figured Blades Hocket would be the bad fight. Either Hocket would knock Blades out in a round, or Blades would just get him so tired that that he could just lay on him for the rest of the fight. You know? And instead, the Reyes Walker fight was a terrible bore fest. And this was the absolute stupid fight of the night. Just, you know,
I loved it.
I
I
I
loved
will
it.
say this. For as completely stupid as Josh Hockett's whole shtick is, and as lame as it is, his post-fight speech was 100% more like survivable than I thought it would be.
I think it's
I,
impressive that he remembered all that bullshit,
me
like
too. That
being
was
exhausted.
actually that was the big thing to me. Is like, you just literally fought for your, like, you poured he could barely stand up. He looked like he was about to throw up before Rogan talked to him. You could see he like turned away and there's all this stuff like falling out of his mouth. And I'm like, okay, is this man about to throw up from exhaustion right now? And then
Oh,
he's got,
after that first frenzy, when he tried to finish Blades in the first, he looked drunk the rest of
oh
the fight.
yeah,
From the
just
middle fingers to
baby
like
learning to
everything.
walk the whole time.
He looked.
And yeah, he had never
I-
been in a fight that hard in his entire life. And you know what? As a former poetry major, I will admire that man literally memorized a whole poem. So he had to spend like hours of his own time alone in his room saying that over and over to himself, committing it to memory.
Can you imagine his neighbors listening to it? Like, what is this guy doing? It's
Yeah.
like reciting his sonnet in the
Yeah.
mirror, no less.
So I expected much worse. And
You know
that
what I
was,
didn't expect? I never thought I would live to see the day where Curtis Blades is in a stand-up war.
yeah, right.
What?
I
What's
mean,
happening
if
here?
anything, it showed you why he tries to avoid them at all costs, because that man does not punch hard for a heavyweight.
True.
He
Very true.
he hit Hockett about 300 times clean in the face in the first round alone, and it doesn't transfer.
He tried.
He tried.
He
He tried.
tries and he
You know,
throws.
I would even argue he maybe should have won this fight.
No, no, no. Mm-mm.
I mean,
No.
it's not like Hockett hurt. They both hurt each other really badly in the first
Blades
round.
was hurt way worse. Hocket was just tired more. Not more tired, but his
I don't know. There was a point where Hockett's like leaning against the cage, getting absolutely beat on for like a minute straight. And after that minute, Blades is landed like 60 punches. And
in no round did it look like Hocket was getting finished.
I
In every
mean,
round, it looked like Blades was about to get finished.
yeah. I'm just
I
saying.
wanted Blades to win. Like I
Yeah.
would, man, when Blades started rallying in that first round, I'm like, get his ass, get his ass. I was so
Yep.
excited. But
Yep.
we
No,
got a
the
crazy
shtick
fucking
lives
fight of the
on,
night.
folks.
Fight of the night out of the two most most likely candidates here.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. It was a hell of a fun fight to watch.
How'd you score the
And
first round?
I understand that it was 10-9 Hockett, but like I said, I think there's an argument it can be either way.
I don't think it was. I think everyone gave Blades the first round.
Okay, well, you were just telling me that Hockett was hurt way
I
less
scored it
bad.
10-10. I gave it a
Okay.
10-10, and I never 10-10. But this
So
got a
I
10-10.
would have scored the first round for Blades, and I mean, I figured it was just split on the first and the second. Were all cards unanimously Hocket the last two, Blades the first one.
That's just what I assumed, but I don't
Let me
know.
see.
Because the sheer volume that Blades put out in that first round after almost getting finished.
Yeah. Let's see.
Had to have
There
been
we
the first
go.
round.
Score cards. Okay, they did all give Blades the first round. Good, good, good. I was. Yeah. Okay. So I missed half of the second round. So
No, I can score a 10-10. When you have a fight like that that's so bananas and just like you can I'm absolutely 10-10ing that.
the reason
When it comes to Johnny Walker and Reyes, they get 0-0s, not 10-10s.
There's a reason that Brawler's Ball keeps Eddie in the booth and does not give him a judge's card to work.
Yeah, I would hate to be a judge. It sounds like a terrible gig. Unless, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there you go. Hey, it's the market, the poly market universe now. You can get money anyway.
That's true. Which may, I mean, I don't know what went on in that Padilla fight, but sounds related.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's an argument that Blades could maybe have won the second round as well. He surely didn't win the third, but I don't care.
Crazy fight though.
Yeah, crazy fight, and you know the Hocket fight, the Hocket shtick lives on, but at least he's proven that he can be an entertaining fighter for like a whole fight now. You know, he's not just a one round wonder.
And he also doesn't have that kind of power that Derek Lewis has or Tom Aspinall or the other people that just sparked out Blades.
Yeah. And we're gonna. Well, I think we're gonna watch him. Absolutely, he's already booked, right, to fight
Derek Lewis at the White House.
Bad day for Derek Lewis. Sorry, but
well, maybe.
No, definitely. We saw that last Derek Lewis fight. He's not like showing up to fight hard anymore.
Maybe at the White House.
Yeah, maybe. I guess every now and then
he could definitely knock Hocket out.
There's still like those moments for Lewis, like he had in the Taliesin Teixeira fight or the Rodrigo Nascimento fight, where he'll just there's Marcos Rogerio de Lima fight rather, where he just will charge out and like immediately wreck somebody. It can still happen, but I'm not going to bet on that for his next fight, for this fight, certainly. All right.
Oh, real quick. The UFC officially signed Gable Stevenson.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, he hasn't had any real contests yet, but he's, the athletic talent is clearly there, and he's got the rap sheet that the UFC loves, so,
And he's a hyper athlete.
Yeah.
Which the UFC desperately needs.
All right. That brings us to
our scoring, and I'm giving that a fucking 10.
Yes.
Because that was fucking awesome. And it had no business being awesome.
I will give that a 5 as well. It was way, way better than it had to be. That brings us to our night's terrible fight. Dominic Reyes, Johnny Walker. And this fight sucked. I mean, I guess two guys with terrible chins, knowing that they have terrible chins, I can't blame them too much, but like nobody wants if you're at a point internally where you can't fight anymore, I don't want to watch you fight.
Yeah, this was really tremendously bad. Yeah. The only thing I did like was the flashlights, the cell phone flashlights from the crowd. That's it. It's the only thing I liked. That's it.
Oh, and as a potential next fight for Blades, I think you got to go Tyrell Fortune, right?
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Blaze needs some time off though.
Blades
He got
Blades
battered.
Blades needs to find a sport he likes more, but
Yeah.
you know, you just lost to a guy who's like had 7 pro fights ever. Daryl
Well,
Freeman.
it's someone if he can't impose his will with the wrestling, he's in
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah.
Period.
All right. Anyway, yeah, Dominic Reyes, Johnny Walker,
Zero.
as Nick here says, SBG Ireland turned Walker into technical master. I mean, I will say this: he's now at what's it in Vegas? He's now at Extreme
Syndicate?
Couture,
Oh, okay.
and it's clearly like a calming influence from him. He wasn't spazzing out there, so that part of his game is a little fixed. But I don't trust Extreme Couture to add a lot of technique to his game. And SBG Ireland really did just take anything fun about him and wreck it by turning him into a guy who only knows how to backpedal and low kick. And yeah, I don't even know if he lost to Dominic Reyes, but as you say, it's a 0 points fight. Who cares? I forget where my camera is.
We all lost.
We all lost. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could next fight for Dominic Reyes. Who cares?
I'm not even going to entertain this, Zane. I don't
all
care.
right.
Don't care.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. That brings us to a featherweight bout. Cub Swanson, Nate Landwear.
The swan
And
song for Swanson.
You and
Come
10 other
on.
people have been making that joke.
Come on. It's good.
Right there. Look, I am so pleasantly surprised because you don't get 2 of these. No fighter even gets 1 of these in MMA. You don't get a happy exit to your MMA career. It doesn't happen. Cub Swanson already got one. He retired after his last fight. It was a brilliant performance. He came back. I was automatically picking against him. I'm like, I don't care. I know it's Nate Landwear. I know you're more technical than him. You're 42 years old. You already got the thing. I'm not picking you.
That's crazy.
But Nate Landwear was absolutely shook to his core about this fight.
Cup could have been 52 and I still would have picked him. Yeah. And what's crazy is like Landwear doesn't usually fight scared. He doesn't fight scared.
No, that's why I say that I wasn't like I didn't think he'd fallen off that big a cliff. The fights with Charrier and Duho Choi, like
Onama,
they were difficult, but they were still fights that I felt Landwear was like engaged and trying and really going for it as best he could. This fight, he just from moment one looked like he did not want to be in there. Pure backpedaling all the time. Every punch that Swanson landed just looked like it rocked Landwear to his core. I mean, like,
you know what? This was target practice. Landwear went full Bob. You know Bob? Like the like human torso punching thing.
Oh,
like
yeah.
He went full Bob. You never go full Bob.
No. I mean, he had Cub out there looking at like 2012, 2013 era Cub Swanson, you know?
Like, yeah, that's insane.
This was really a wild
Out of character for Landwear.
Yeah. A wildly poor performance for Landwear. I'm not going to say it's the fixed fight or a thrown fight, because if you're going to throw a fight, you don't throw it by getting punched in the head really hard a bunch. It's a terrible way to throw a fight, but it definitely looked like he was not ready to compete.
Maybe he bet against himself. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I doubt he did that.
No, yeah. What MMA fighter would take the $15,000 they lose from, or they know that they're going to make from losing, and bet it in a way that would make them another $20,000 instead of taking the extra 15,000 they could get from just trying to win. But yeah, I mean, for Swanson, it's, it is his swan song. Fine, I'll say it too. So I have to pick another fight for him. And for Landwear, this should be the end of his road too. I don't want to pick him in something else. He's 37 years old. He's been knocked out 3 times in a row now. Let's just call it done.
Yeah. Time to put the train back in the station.
Mm-hmm. Time to go to that big rail yard in the sky, Nate. But yeah, I will give this. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I know the feel good vibes are there. Know it's a finish, but it really did not look like Landwear was there to fight.
I'm going to go 5. Anytime a fighter retires on a dub, I'm going to celebrate that as much as I possibly can. Very rare air.
All right. That brings us to a featherweight bout. Aaron Pico, Patricio Pitbull. And man, Pico, this is the most composed he's ever looked in his whole career. No question. This is the first time I've ever seen Pico in a fight where he was not just in kill mode the whole time and lose it, otherwise going to lose if he could not stay in kill mode the whole time. He was picking his spots. He was taking.
It's growth. He looked mature in his fighting. No, it was great to see. He stayed at the perfect range, in and out, mixing in the takedowns beautifully, not forcing things, I think is the big thing here. He wasn't forcing things. He was taking what was given to him, got in a little bit of trouble early in the first, but after that, I mean, he was running downhill.
He looked like a fighter who knew that if he took his foot off the gas a little, he wouldn't immediately be in danger. That seems to have always been the thing before, is it always felt like, if Pico thinks, if I'm ever put on the back foot, if I'm ever going backward, he's a bit like Michael Chandler in that way, where it's like, if I'm ever forced to go backward at all, I'm gonna lose. This is all bad news for me. And this is the first time where it's like, oh yeah, I can land a couple shots, I can take a step back, I can collect myself, I can even let, there were a couple times where Pitbull came forward and he threw a couple counters to stop him from coming onto him and stuff like that. And it's just like really fully composed. And then he's still blazingly fast and has really sharp hands and is a great wrestler. So all of that potential that everybody has talked about his entire life is, it's still right there. He's only 29.
He's such a box of chocolates. You really never know. This is great. I need to see this again. I need to see that consistency. Because I was almost ready to write him off as the featherweight Alistair Overeem, full glass cannon.
Yeah.
But if he can fight like this, as one of our commenters has said, he's the future of MMA.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. I mean, that's the thing, is that MMA loves to forget how old guys are and how much experience they've had and what kind of career they've had over the year already up to a point. But it is one of those things with Pico where there will always be this potential that he could flip a switch and be a championship level fighter because the athletic ability and the technical ability are right there.
It's
But
just the way he loses is just
yeah, I mean, in the past, every
rough.
time he's lost, and he's not even necessarily always losing to real knockout killers, he just seems like he doesn't see punches coming at all. And this is the first, like I said, this is the first time I've ever seen him in a fight where it felt like, oh, he could take a step back and like collect himself and be in a mindset where something can come at him and he's not just blind to it. But it also does need to happen against somebody who can throw more than 10 strikes around because Pitbull is, it has to be said. He's talking, they're talking about him saying that, oh, he knows he needs to be more urgent and he knows he needs to put more out there and fight with more urgency and all that. It's like, yeah, but he's 38 and he's less durable than ever. Like, that's just not going to happen. It's not going to become a chancier, riskier, higher output fighter at 38. It's just, that's not how the world works. And if he does, he's probably going to lose by knockout a lot more because he's going to be in position to get hit a lot more because he's not 25.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you would definitely need to see him in there against, some other really good seasoned UFC level fighters that can put out a good pace and fight a really hard 3-round fight. So,
With that being said, I think he should still fight Kevin Vallejos.
yeah. Shit, yeah.
Who's not a seasoned veteran, but I feel like that fight makes the most sense considering the condition of the featherweight division with everyone coming off of a loss pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Vallejos wouldn't be a bad idea. Or let me see what else we got here. Somebody doesn't even have to necessarily be a ranked fighter to me. I mean, it could, I suppose. That was Pitbull ranked actually.
Yeah, he was 13.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it does kind of have to be a ranked fighter.
But like, he could be in there with Josh Emmett or David Onama.
Yeah. I think the Vallejos fight is definitely the best option. Otherwise, Emmett, Onama are both fine. And, I'd even be willing to see him against somebody like, oh, I don't know.
Ortega would be interesting.
Yeah, Ortega could be interesting. I mean, it's too bad Duho Choi just got booked because I'd love to see that. That
would be interesting.
Him against somebody like Duho Choi or I don't know. Actually, Jose Miguel Delgado is just coming off a win over Andre Fili. Love to see him against Delgado.
Oof. That would ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
I don't think that is not a smart fight for Pico.
No, it's not. But there's a lot of options for him right now, basically. That brings us to, and for Pitbull, I mean, I get the feeling the UFC is going to cut him. I think they kind of signed him as like to prove a point, basically. And
they probably got him for cheap, I would think.
But they didn't get him for as cheap as they would get a Contender Series fighter.
Yeah, but I think he brings a bigger audience than a Contender Series fighter.
Yeah, but the UFC and they don't care about that. If you cost more than $60,000 a fight and you start losing, they don't want you. Like, that's just the rule. And especially with these like guys who coming in from like Bellator or PFL or anybody like that, Horizon, it's always like the matchmakers have always had a chip on their shoulder about these kinds of fighters. But like, you come in and if you don't exceed expectations all the way through, you're gone immediately. So I won't be surprised if they just throw him out the door. If not, they should book him with for a Josh Emmett fight. That is the thing to do.
Yeah, I like that fight.
You know,
I think that's fair.
All right. That brings us to...
This is a 5 for me, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Scoring wise, I'll give it a solid 4. Great fight. No finish, but great fight.
Fun fight, like action all the way through.
Yeah. And yes, I do. I agree with Nick Sicilian that we don't need any more Josh Emmett fights, but we don't need any more shot Pitbull fights either. So, you know.
He just beat Dan Ige.
Yeah, well, maybe we don't need any more shot Dan Ige fights either. UFC has this huge stable of fighters that are like right on the edge of 40, and it's like, I don't need all of this. All right. That brings us to a welterweight bout. Kevin Holland, Randy Brown. And, you know, I maybe Kevin Holland spending that money on Daniel Rodriguez gave him the feeling of fatherly authority. And he really, like, this is the first time I've seen Kevin Holland come out and fight composed for years, it felt like.
Hold on, what the fuck is going on? We got Kevin Holland fighting smart, Aaron Pico fighting smart, Paulo Costa fighting smart. What the? Yuri fighting dumb as fuck.
It is strange days.
What is happening? And I can't tell you how many inside leg kicks I saw tonight.
Right?
More than I've ever seen before on one card.
A lot of surprisingly composed performances, and Holland he read the book everybody else has ever read on Randy Brown, which is that the man does not know what to do with a leg kick to save his life, and he threw a bunch of them. And Brown, you know, credit to Brown, he hung tough and he fought through it, and he tried to keep composed in the fight, but he could never really come back from that.
And he gassed out really early.
Yeah. Oh, so, well, that choke just... That is one of the only times in history where Rogan and DC have said, oh, it's tight, and a guy hasn't gotten choked out, and the whole time I was thinking, they're right, this does look really tight, and I think he's probably about to get choked out.
It did look super tight. Yeah. I can't believe he got out.
Yeah.
But he literally drained himself getting out of that thing.
Yeah. No, it spent every last little bit of energy he had. Really fun fight, though, honestly, even still. Third round,
except for that
kind of lame.
Third round was,
yeah. But solid fight. Some good back and forth action. Couple close finish moments, and just a composed fight from Kevin Holland. Who would have thought? The dude
He's focused. He knows what he wants. He wants that D-Rod rematch.
Yeah, like that is what has given him purpose. Because that D-Rod fight was a complete fucking trash fire mess. I mean, it was fun, but it was a complete mess. And his fight after that against against Mike Malott, not great. No. So, but D-Rod's out now. He's had his 8-month stint in Tijuana jail, and they're ready to. He'll be needing a paycheck soon. So. I mean, I guess I was gonna say, if we need to book what's the next fight for Kevin Holland, then it's already booked, right?
It's booked, yeah.
Yeah. He wants to fight Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez is on a 3-fight win streak. Last one being over Kevin Holland. So.
And honestly, I feel like D-Rod would like honor that, right? Like he would honor,
yeah.
Oh, you bail me out? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna give you that get back.
Of course.
We'll run that again.
I mean, D-Rod is 39. He just spent 8 months in Tijuana jail. the fact that he has a UFC contract to come back to, like I say, this is all I'm going to say is Joe Silva would never. Joe Silva would be like, get lost. I don't even know who you are now.
Right.
I have not only have I lost your number, I have erased you from my memory.
No hablo. Click.
Yeah. But in this
Yeah.
era of the UFC, D-Rod, like, yeah, you just come back and fight Kevin Holland. There's no other reality here. And for Randy Brown, I don't know.
I don't know either.
He's been a mid-level guy in the welterweight division forever. And it's now clear after this fight that there's no run to be made, you know?
No, true journeyman.
Yeah, true journeyman. So you just kind of got to find him a journeyman fight. I guess Ponzinibbio probably still wants to fight. And
sure.
Yeah.
Like that sounds perfect.
Yeah. You could have him fight Santiago Ponzinibbio. Sounds great. All right. That brings us to a lightweight bout. Mateusz Gamrot, Esteban Rabovich. I saw a lot of people, our producer was one of them, but other people too, being like, oh, I don't know what version of Gamrot's going to show up for this fight. What are we going to
crazy
see?
talk.
How it's going to be? And it's like, we're going to
see the same Gamrot every time I see him fight.
Yeah, and it's like, at the very least, I know that Esteban Rabovich can't wrestle, so not really worried about which Gamrot I'm going to get. I'm going to get the one that wrestles Esteban Rabovich all over the cage, you know?
I was shocked that the betting odds were so close for this.
Yeah, like
Seems
I said,
a little
lot
disrespectful.
of people were like, yeah. No, Gamrot, his game has problems. And, but it's not with a guy like Rabovich who doesn't fight from range, who has to fight in the pocket, and who doesn't defend takedowns well.
And has never fought anybody on this level.
Yeah. Yeah. And went to split decisions with guys like Daniel Zellhuber, you know? Like,
talk about someone going through it. Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, somebody asked too, they've been watching us for years. What do we think of the current state of MMA media? It doesn't exist. That is what I will tell you.
It does not exist.
It is now, you know,
dead. It retired.
Yeah. Uncrowned has collected all of the good writers left and mostly has them doing PR for things like MVP promotions and stuff like that. And everything else, nobody wants. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say it's to, you know, there are 78 people here watching. I'm really grateful for that and all that, but I don't think MMA has a real fan base anymore. I don't think there are any people who are really into reading or following MMA news and all that. So the ecosystem has turned mostly to quick social media interaction influencers and stuff like that. And
more PR driven also.
Yeah, it really PR flunkies, social media influencers, all the media ecosystem of like people who will really follow the sport, give you all the updates on things, break stuff down, all that. It just is gone. And I think
it's like the like you see the people doing interviews now, they don't give a fuck about MMA. They're casuals. They're not they don't know ball, so to speak.
Yeah. And it's because the viewers have become more casual too. I think it's weird to say because like MMA used to have this really, really hardcore invested fan base, you know? And there were, you know, like 20 hardcore websites out there with like the Underground and there was Mania, there was Bloody Elbow, there were all these places where you could go and they would just be packed. Yeah, rest in peace. No kidding. And that the UFC has turned, for all of their talk about, oh, we would never be like boxing, MMA is better than boxing. UFC has turned the sport into boxing, and they've turned the fans into boxing fans. Boxing fans only show up for the big fights, and the rest of the time they don't care. And that's what MMA feels like now. It's like fans, they show up for the big fights, and the rest of the time the UFC's giving them stuff that they barely tune in. Like, why would you tune in for an Apex card?
And I think another thing is the culture kind of shifted, or not the culture, but the fan base shifted from people who were just nerds for the fight game to a lot of people watch it just to gamble.
Yeah.
Like it's a fix for them now.
Yeah.
I think the gambling aspect is another big side of it that maybe isn't talked about enough.
Yeah, no, I mean the hardcore fan base now are gamblers, and they don't care about like reading
the news. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Oh, fight for Mateusz Gamrot. He's still a top ranked lightweight. This was
he called out Diego Lopez.
Yeah, wow. That's good for you. Nobody's gonna make that fight, so
he needs to go fight like Moicano or BSD or Arman Sarukian.
Yeah, he should be trying to get that Benoit Saint-Denis fight. That's the fight I want to see. That Benoit Saint-Denis fight would be absolutely fantastic.
I would watch a rematch with Arman. I think that would be good.
Oh yeah, a rematch with Arman would be great. I just don't think Arman's going to take that or care about it.
No.
But yeah, Benoit Saint-Denis, Moicano, Hoofy is fighting Michael Chandler soon. The winner of that, like,
yeah, calling out a 45er is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. That brings us to.
I give it a 5 though.
Oh yeah.
We got the finish. Finish.
Yeah.
I was spared from of that.
I'll give it a 4. It was fun, but it was also really dominant. Finish was nice. I love that arm triangle. The ref coming in and like shaking his arm and him being like, "No, I'm good," and then like got a tap a moment later. I mean, and I get it too, because that sucks too for him to have his concentration broken like that. All right, that brings us to women's strawweight bout: Tatiana Suarez, Luque Godinez, and Tatiana Suarez does not seem like she's getting any better. That should be a big concern for Tatiana Suarez. She almost got flatlined by Luque Godinez. It's not good. That if you fight Weili Zhang again, I'm not going to be like, oh, maybe this time she's got her, But at the same time, too, it's very clear that if for any reason whatsoever Weili Zhang cannot fight Mackenzie Dern, the Tatiana Suarez will be the women's strawweight champ.
You think she'd be?
Think she'd be too?
Dern?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe. I think Dern can knock her out on the feet.
I think Dern, yeah, I mean, anybody can if Luque Godinez can, but Dern will also give up every single takedown that Tatiana Suarez goes for, and unlike Verna Jandiroba, Suarez is big enough and athletic enough to not just get completely neutralized on top.
You think she should go right to Dern?
Yeah, unquestionably. I mean, but if I think Weili Zhang's going to get that fight, so I think it's moot.
So then maybe she fights Jillian Robertson.
Yeah. If Weili Zhang is in the title picture, then Tatiana Suarez just has to try to knock off every single other person because she got humiliated in that fight. But if it's not her, if it's not Weili Zhang, then she is the number one contender no matter what. And I was
For one of our commenters, there is no nothing will. What would it take for Tatiana to learn some good stand-up? She would have to be born again, and I don't mean in a religious way. I mean like physically go through the reproduction cycle all over again, be born, grow up, and learn to strike earlier in life.
Yeah, she's got whatever Ben Askren had. It's that wrestler feeling of like, you see, and because this doesn't happen to every wrestler, clearly, but
it used to happen to no wrestlers, right? We've talked about this. Wrestlers used to spam overhands, and then somewhere down the line, they got soft and couldn't translate to their fists.
Yeah, but I think like there are, and this is I think very clear of her because her clinch game looked good in this fight for Suarez. She was a much better clinch striker than she was anywhere else. And I think she's just one of those fighters that when she's out at range, she has no concept of distance, and she has to be connected to her opponent to be able to have a feeling of like, oh, if I swing my fist right now with a hand on you, I know where it'll land. But when she's out at range, there's just no sense of distance at all. So it's a little like Curtis Blades, where Curtis Blades has trained his striking for years and years and years, and it just doesn't translate into effective striking. So
yeah, Blades is another one of those. Yeah, and what's the crazy thing about Blades is he's a fucking heavyweight.
Yeah.
That's what blows my mind. Yeah, there's no hope for that though. So
no, there's really no. I don't think there's any way at this point because Suarez too. I mean, she's 35 and she's been training, through injuries and everything now. But for 12 years, she's been a pro MMA fighter, and if a corner were gonna be turned there, it would have happened 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah.
The tennis ball drills. It's not the tennis ball. She needs like the band with the string with the ball.
Yeah.
She can just sit there and do that maybe. I don't know.
No,
Or
I
like the
think
sticks that fall and she can catch the sticks as they fall.
I think there's just literally there are some people who are just never gonna have like that kind of brain that works for. And in part it's a product of I think training something else for so long and to such a high degree. But
Yeah, but even she's serviceable on the feet.
Yeah, and that's just because Dern's crazy and she just goes for it all the time.
But like this is fucking fighting. What?
All right.
What was the name of Tarverdian's camp?
Oh, with Glendale Fight Club.
Glendale Fight Club, yeah.
Yeah. Still training Ronda to this day.
Ronda has a fight too. That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm still like, what? Man, I'm going on a fucking cruise and I hate cruises. It's a study abroad thing I'm doing, whatever, and it's free, but it's I'm leaving on the day of that card, so I'm actually gonna miss it. I know.
Let's see, for Lupe, I will say she should fight Amanda Lemos. That's the fight for Lupe Godinez.
Sure.
All right. That brings us to a.
Oh, I gave that a 5, by the way.
Oh, yeah, you gave that.
Big fat momentum swing.
I'll give it. I will give it a 5 as well, and I will say this: that I really thought this fight should have been 5 rounds. I thought it should have been like a co-main for a small fight night card. because if you're going to try to make Godinez especially into a contender off a win like this, she should be in at least one 5-round fight. And Suarez really has everything to prove with her cardio right now. So I will say, I'm very grateful for Suarez for proving me wrong and just getting it done and wrapping it up in under 2 rounds.
Yeah, she needed that. I needed that.
All right, that brings us to a catchweight bout. Chris Padilla, Markel Maderos. And yes, this is a bit of a travesty. I know Padilla missed weight. He took the fight on short notice. And I will say that Maderos landed a lot of the cleaner strikes throughout the fight that appeared to connect better especially over the second and third rounds, making those fights where, despite the good work Padilla was doing, I could understand how you could see those rounds for Maderos potentially. But I believe on the scorecards, every judge, or no, 2 of the judges gave Maderos the first round.
I thought it was just Derek Cleary.
Was it just Derek Cleary? Let me see.
Yeah. I think he was the only one that gave Maderos the first round, which, in my opinion, because that was the cleanest round, in my opinion.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, you're right. It was just Derek Cleary, and that's the reason that Padilla lost this fight, or that ended up being a draw. If he had given him that round, he gave Padilla the third. And I think that that's reasonable. I think it's reasonable. So you could argue that Padilla got every round just on volume. He never got hurt at any point. Like I said, you can argue Maderos landed the cleaner shots in each round, but Padilla always did more work, and neither guy ever got really hurt. So it's kind of a 50-50.
Very close round 3.
Yeah.
But also Maderos lost a point in the third.
Yeah. For Padilla to lose this round because Derek Cleary thought he lost the first round, or for him to not win this fight because Cleary thought he lost the first round, that just sucks.
I gave all 3 rounds to Padilla, honestly.
Me too.
And the third was at 10-8.
Yeah, me too.
30-26.
Yeah, I did too. I had it 30-26 for him. I thought, like I said, you can argue Maderos landed cleaner shots in the second and third rounds, but he didn't hurt Padilla, and Padilla was doing more work the whole time. So I gave him those rounds, and
it's just really unfortunate. And here's the thing. Like, had it been announced a draw in the cage real time, I would have been like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that it happened way later on the broadcast, I put on my tinfoil hat. Like, this stinks.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not a good look. It smells fishy. Where's Yanni the Greek? What does he know about this?
He's back buried under the Las Vegas pyramid in his tomb.
It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It sucks because this was a fantastic fight. This is like a 4.2. I give it a 4.2 for the fight. Yeah. A 0 for the judging.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 overall. Good fight, ruined by some crappy judging.
The point deduction was fantastic. I did like that.
Yeah, that was great. You know what you got to do next with Padilla, though, to me. And I don't
run this one back.
No, don't fight this Markel Maderos again. You beat him once. Don't, why sully that water? Mason Jones.
That would be wild.
right?
Yeah, I
Two
like
dudes
that.
that only fight going forward. I want to see it.
It's a car crash.
Yep.
Man,
So
we got some crazy output between this and the Blades Hocket
Hocket,
fight.
yeah,
Hocket, Hocket.
whatever.
Yeah. Man. And it's when this happened, I was like, damn, Padilla kind of screwed himself out of that fight of the night bonus. But little did we know.
Yeah, there was bigger things coming. All right. That note.
What did you give the fight?
Oh, I gave it a 3.5. It was an awesome fight, but the judging kind of spoils it, you know.
Fair.
All right. That brings us to a middleweight bout: Vicente Luque, Kelvin Gastelum, and I would never have in a million years thought Vicente Luque belonged at middleweight.
100%.
He's not a big welterweight. He's never even been an especially physical welterweight. It's not like, oh, you know, he's not like Hector Lombard wasn't a big welterweight, but Hector Lombard at middleweight, I was like, I get it. You're a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Luque has never been that. He's just a guy. He's a pretty good welterweight fighter, scrappy, solid striker. Seemed kind of past his prime, and moving up to middleweight was, to me, not great. But
I still picked him here.
I picked Gastelum just because my feeling was like Gastelum's always been bad and Luque's only becoming bad. So it's like, oh, Luque's actually on a trajectory where Gastelum has just always been in this stuck in like nowhere. But God, I will say, I think that the time has really caught up to Gastelum hard. And Eddie's frozen. So maybe if I'm lucky, he'll come back around in a second. I'm just going to keep talking. But yeah, Gastelum, this feels to me like kind of a reckoning because he's only 34.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're
I think
back.
I froze for a second.
You did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I still picked Luque here though.
Yeah, I picked Gastelum because I was saying I feel like Gastelum has always been as bad as he is, and Luque is only becoming bad. So it's like Luque's on a downward trajectory. Gastelum's just still on the same flat line. But I now see that I'm wrong, and Gastelum is clearly losing an extra step. He is now
losing some of that chin, which is a big thing.
He's losing the durability. And it has to be said, too, I think a whole career of simply not taking it all that seriously is really wearing him out faster than you would think. You know?
Yeah, I sent my picks to my buddy, and he was like, "You're picking against Gastelum?" And I was like, "I can't trust him for shit."
No, yeah, I didn't pick him because I trusted him. I'm just like Luque at middleweight, because even in the fight, like in the start of this fight, it's like, oh yeah, Gastelum, even at 5'9", he's always made sense to me as a middleweight. Like he is big enough. He's as wide as he is tall. He's built like a refrigerator.
Yeah.
And he's out there throwing with Luque. It's like, you are clearly a bigger, more powerful fighter in this.
Especially when they clinched up. His whole body eclipsed Luque.
Yeah. And
but he's not better. Gastelum has never been technically better anywhere than Luque.
No. He's never been technically better. I just don't. Luque, to me, at middleweight was just a nonsense idea. You know? It's just like, I don't believe it. I need to see even some shadow of this before I believe it exists. And hey, you know, Gastelum is now at the point where he is having highly competitive fights with Dustin Stoltzfus and getting rinsed by welterweights.
A damn near club and sub.
Yep.
Just outside the parameter of a club and sub. It was right there.
and B, Vicente Luque still not quite as shot as everybody thought he was after the whole brain bleed scare.
Yeah, like after that Buckley fight, that was
Yeah.
just a weird, very weird. So I think moving up for him is a good thing health wise.
Yeah.
But middleweight's a dangerous place to be, and making the jump from 170 to 185 is a dangerous move.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be good for him long term. But I'm glad to see him I'm glad to see him catch a body his first time out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a 5. This was entertaining as hell.
you have to give it a 5. You know who he should fight next?
What?
Olasejek.
Yeah, I'd watch that. Oleksiejczuk could be a lot of fun. Let's see. Is there some other weirdly short arsed middleweight that would be a weird matchup I'd never thought of happening? Let me see. I mean, at this point, he could fight Robert Whittaker.
Oof. Oof. Yikes.
Right?
I would be scared for him in that fight. He's still hittable.
Wildly, he's still the same. He's the same height as Jared Cannonier.
I wouldn't wish that upon him.
No, I wouldn't either.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the Oleksiejczuk is a shout is a good one.
Yeah, because I think that's because Luque is hittable, so he could get caught.
Yeah.
But Olasejczuk can get subbed. So I think it's interesting. Yeah. I think it's a solid booking, even matchup.
I'd watch it. All right. That brings us to our final fight of the card, Charles Radke, Francisco Prado. And it's fine. Prado, much like Rabovich, something about those Argentinians, they just can't wrestle, man. Prado cannot wrestle.
Sure.
Dober Picante spending the whole fight on his back.
Yeah, this was a shitty fight.
Yeah.
I did like that Radke caused a cut from the bottom of full guard.
That was good, yeah.
Love to see it. And the ref is getting a 5 from me for taking away that point right away.
Yeah.
Like, you were warned. I'm taking the fucking point. Great to see.
Prom night fingering, if ever I've seen one.
The ref was the highlight of this fight.
Yeah.
Performance bonus for that referee.
Absolutely. All right.
Hold on. Someone said if your eye poke is knuckle deep, it should be a point deduction. I think it should be a DQ.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, this was a point deduction. What was the one after this? It was also like just.
That was the Padilla fight.
Oh, it was a Padilla fight. Okay. No, but there was another one where there was a.
Paulo Costa poked Murzakanov in the eye.
Okay, I thought there was.
But they called it like a closed fist or some shit.
I thought there was another one on this card too, but whatever. It should always be a point. If your hand is open and you poke somebody in the eye because your hand is open, that should be a point. You know, the warning should be for the open hand extending towards the opponent. That's what
the warning's in the locker room.
Yeah. I want to see warnings only if you got your hand open and you're pawing out. That's when the ref should be like, "Hey, knock that off." If it pokes the person, it's a point. Just done. You know. Anyway, I give that fight a 2.
It's a deuce, hard deuce.
But wrapping things up, whole card. It's kind of a 5.
I really like the card.
Yep.
A little bit of everything, a ton of unexpected things, which is the best.
That's what I say. You get a really perfect card, you got to have the whole meal. You got to have the one really boring fight. You got to have the weird injury. You got to have the bad decision. You got to have the knockout. You got to have the war. You got to have the subs. It's had all of it. This is a good time.
Yeah, I almost want to go 5 here.
Yeah, I'm saying
I'm gonna go like 4.5.
4.8. Here, let's reserve the 5 for when the UFC really tries hard.
Yeah, like UFC 300 was a hard 5.
But this is as close as they can get without really trying hard. So I'll give them that credit. All right. On that note, we're going to sign off. You can find me on Twitter at Zane Simon. You can find Eddie on Twitter at the Eddie Mercado. You can find me over on Blue Sky and Substack at Zane Simon. You can find Eddie all other places at the Eddie Mercado, wherever he may be, and occasionally at Brawler's Ball, and sometimes up in space, and sometimes out on the ocean.
That's right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, and at sea.